Aloha! It is Halloween month here in America where I live, and because of that, I thought I would share a scary story with you. The scariest story that I know. I'm JayDreamerZ. Welcome to my channel. This is the month where some of us get really excited, like more than we do about Christmas time and the other holidays. The scary things in life attract some of us. We like to go to scary movies. We're horror fans. And even if you're not, I particularly have found them to be quite interesting. How intrigued we are. There's this desire to be scared. There's a desire that people have to go and scare themselves. Isn't that a little weird? I think it's a little strange. However, there's a reason behind the weirdness. There's a method to the madness in all of us, really. So I have a theory. I have a theory about why we like to scare ourselves. Every Halloween where we dress up and, we put on scary things or we pretend, right? We're allowed to pretend every Halloween time and put on costumes and go about, but the fear aspect is there. Right? Why do we go to the scary movies? Why do we go to the horror movies? Why do we do that to ourselves? I believe it's because we have a collective subconscious desire in the recesses of our collective minds to be reminded. No matter how scary it is, we want that truth. There's a truth there. And the scariest stories are always the truest stories. Because they could be real. That's what makes them so good, right? If horror movies, what's up everybody in the chat? I'm going to jump in the chat in just a second. If horror movies were 100% just made up gibberish and nonsense, they wouldn't scare us. We need the element of truth for it to resonate. We need the element of truth for it to be there, right? Not just a surface level truth, like, oh, somebody could, another human could rob my house and stab me or something, right? That's a legitimate fear. I'm talking about like the fantastic monsters and whatnot. So let me tell you a story, okay? All of these, imagine every single horror movie you've ever heard of, every scary movie you've ever seen, all of their elements of truth are the same story. That means there's one ultimate horror story. There's one ultimate scary story. There's something ultimately that happens to us here in this world, scary enough as it already is, that shocks us and shocks our collective conscience so much that it's something that we cannot forget. It's in the mind and it stays there, right? And it comes out whenever we write, when we become creative. These types of stories tend to come out, not because we desire death and gore and that's our nature is that we resonate with those things. Actually, quite the opposite, I've found. Oftentimes, it's those of us who are very empathetic and loving and good-natured and whatnot. But we want balance to our life. There is a balance to the paradise. There's a balance to all of the wonderful utopia and goodness and all of the great things that are portrayed and given to us in the movies. There's a balance to that. Okay, there's a balance to the world that we live in right now. So, our world goes through cyclical apocalyptic events. And when that apocalypse happens, when that switch occurs, that's when all of your scary movies and nightmares and everything. Now that's just one perspective, okay? Some people will experience the apocalypse and they'll love it, okay? Some people were made to battle monsters and fight Fantazoids and be heroes and etc., right? There are some of us like that who were made for that. That's our destiny. Some people are not. Some people are made to hope that it all goes away and I just want to live a simple life, and that's totally fine too. It doesn't take away from, if this happens, it happens to everybody, right? So it's a theory that I have that everything is connected. Even works of so-called fiction and fantasy and cartoons and advertisements and things that don't seem like they would be connected. Everything is connected to a great, grand, big story. And we're on that story right now. We're playing a part, just like in the movie, The Never-Ending Story, right? And horror plays a huge part. And since it's Halloween month, all month on my channel at least, we're going to be doing spooky, scary stuff. Right? I'm going to be talking about the apocalypse because that's the scariest thing that I can think of. It's the root of all of our scary stuff. So, for example, and I'd like to jump in the chat too and get some examples from all of you because I really want to talk about scary movies and get some ideas for our next Truth in Movies, the ones that we'll be doing all month long. But for example, right, I get the truth from these movies. Freddy Krueger is this dude who's all burnt up. One, he's burnt up symbolically because of the fires of heaven that come down, etc. And he lives in the nightmares, but he's got the glove, which is like the fingers of God, which is the plasma. That's why he's all burnt up, because he represents plasma and electricity and stuff. And the fingers of God come down from the sky, which is plasma. They're plasma fingers, they're dragons, they're sky worms, they're fire worms. They're described in many different ways. But all of these things have little breadcrumbs of truth, of things that happen during this time. So, for example, Jason Voorhees, he can't die. He represents living during the time of no death, right? Immediately after the world depressurizes, conditions in our world change to allow vitality to reinvigorate everything to such an extreme degree that for a time, it will be impossible or near impossible to even die, which gives rise to the very real possibility of zombies and Jason Voorhees, etc. Let's see. iFlyFPV says, Jay, the server went down on a chat on my side for a moment, but it's back. Yeah, it's been doing that. If you have technical difficulties, I'm not the one to tell, though, because I have zero control over anything that YouTube does. But yeah, it's good to know. I know the chat disappears, sometimes when I watch it too. You just have to refresh it, I guess. All right. So, the point here today is I want to make a lot of videos this month. I want to do a lot of like Halloween themed videos. This one is about the truth in the horror movies, the truth in the scary movies. So I'd like to reach out to the chat and ask you all for your favorite examples of truth portrayed in the horror movies or the plasma apocalypse in the horror movies. It doesn't have to be like your personal truth just because it's mine. But I'm also going to rewatch this particular video to get ideas for the truth in movies that we'll be doing all month. All month it's going to be a horror theme. It's going to be scary movies. You know what I mean? So there's all kinds of them out there. I love all of them, and I see the truth in all of them. Like, for example, 3 out of 4 of these killers has a white face. Okay, Freddy probably would also have a white face, but he's all burnt up by default, so we'll exclude him. But 3 out of 4 of them do. There's something about a white face connected with terror. A white face scares us. I'm not talking about a Caucasian face, right? I mean a white face. That's why these characters that scare the crap out of us often are what I call Fantazoid white, or they represent the killer clowns from outer space. Those clowns that came down, the jesters, the jokers, they're referred to, in different ways. They're vampires, etc. They're always pasty, pale, white skin. Very, very white, actually. Which is really interesting, too. Oh, yeah, Dracula's a good one, too. Sylvia says the first Exorcist movie. Ooh, that one got me too. That one, I like the classic ones, right? Like the first Exorcist, Firestarter, Poltergeist. Those ones are pretty good. So I was just going over the chat real quick. So anyways, this is why we have Halloween. Now I'm going to get into the breakdown of the history, the esoteric history of Halloween, why we started celebrating it. Ultimately, I believe that many of our traditions and our celebrations and our holy days, right? Even Halloween is a holy day. That's why everybody celebrates it, right? No matter various religions. I mean, some people are opposed to it or whatever, but typically if they're opposed to Halloween, they just take that exact same day that people celebrate or the day after, or sometimes it's a triad of days. But anyways, they take that same time and they still celebrate it. They just slap on different cartoonifications of ancient historic truths and they rework it so that it fits, you know, their approval, their likes and their dislikes. Antoine says Jeepers Creepers. Oh my God. That movie was great until the end. The end was terrible. Oh my God. The movie ended so quickly. When I was watching it in the theaters, everyone didn't even get up. They thought it was a joke. We were all watching the credits just go because we didn't think the movie really ended. It was crazy. Oh yeah, the White Walkers. That's a good example of the pasty-skinned, pale killer clowns from outer space, right? Motif. Yes, so a lot of the horror movies are going to have very similar themes. Now, some of my favorite ones are the classics, like I was talking about earlier, and many times you'll see that these happen during Christmas or during the opposite side of the calendar, which is on the summer solstice. So the winter solstice or the summer solstice, almost every time. If they don't, then they will have strong allusions to those times, right? They will allude to those times and make reference to them, etc. But quite often, like even movies that you wouldn't expect, like Gremlins, right? Gremlins is totally a Christmas movie. It's a Christmas Day catastrophe. Something bad happens, something unexpected. Usually some sort of world-ending event happens right around Christmas time or right around, you know, the 4th of July, the summer solstice time frame. Zoe says, Predator scares me the most. Just thought of something invisible next to me. Yeah, well, so the Invisible Man probably isn't one of your favorites either. So Predator is really interesting too, because Predator is basically a cartoonified version of the Fantazoids that enter into this world. There's a Predator class of Fantazoids, right? There's all different kinds of otherworldly alien animals and creatures and monsters and stuff that are said to descend, to float down from the sky or crawl up from underneath. Either way, the world will be infested with monsters, right? That doesn't mean they're all evil or they all want to eat you or they all want to kill you or anything. Just because they're a monster does not mean that. However, it also doesn't mean that they're all good and you don't need to worry about it. You do need to worry about it. You should worry about it. If you're not at least a little bit concerned, then when the time comes, most likely, you know, you're not going to know what to do basically, except for run and scream and get eaten. Or, you know, a Fantazoid stabs you in the chest and lays babies in your carcass or something, you know? Truth Seeker 777 says, JayDreamerZ, backrooms being a sub-collective memory of the Illuminati's dumbs totally resonates with me, right? The whole concept of the backrooms resonates with me. I hope you guys enjoyed that backrooms video we did too. That was fun. Tucci, what's up? What about Charles Lee Ray? I have no idea who that is. Linda Ray says, Jay, hush hush. Sweet Charlotte, that one scared the crap out of me. I never heard of that. It sounds like it would be scary because it sounds like a nursery rhyme or something. And all those nursery rhymes are esoteric and about creepy, weird stuff. And that's the reason we teach our kids that kind of stuff too, which is really weird, right? We shy away from allowing children to like watch anything scary or even be privy to anything that is scary. I say privy because it's a privilege to me. To have balance in life, right? To teach children that they're completely safe and there's, you know, there's no record. Basically saying that like monsters and evil is a lie. So you don't have to watch out for it. That's not cool. It's very much alive and well in the world that we live in. We have different monsters today that we're used to. They don't dress like this, right? But the time will come when they do. When they do look strange and creepy, and so will many of you out there too. And that's another scary thing about the plasma apocalypse is it's not just that there are Fantazoids, not just that there are otherworldly beasts and monsters and stuff. There are all kinds of scary situations. If you're not prepared for it, it'll probably scare the pants off of you, right? That happen. Like, for example, just the lights going out, just the world turning dark like that. Like a switch went off and all of a sudden the sun, boom, gone. Moon, gone. The whole sky is black. There's a massive worldwide EMP. No lights are working. You're in complete darkness, followed by a sudden deafening crack and a boom as the sky splits open and the air rips apart, creating fog and mist, and it's wet everywhere. And you can hear the high winds from far away making their way in your direction. Howling, screaming, people don't know what to do. They're panicking. Just that, in the dark, alone, is pretty damn scary, right? What's up, everybody? Hey, Abigail, what's up? Cool picture. Says, JayDreamerZ, backrooms found in Google Earth terrify me the most. Okay. I'm not scared of that, but I could see how you would be. What's up? How's it going, T? Good to see you. We got Ulysses B says, Jay, Edward Scissorhands is white. Right, exactly, right? He's a perfect example. As a matter of fact, oftentimes I find that these like scary movie, people that are the pasty pale white skin, a lot of times they put them in leather, like shiny leather. I'm seeing that connection too, because there was the exact same type. Edward Scissorhands, he wore leather, black leather, right? And also those alien creatures from Dark City, they wore black leather, right? What's his name? From Hellraiser or whatever, Pinhead, all those guys. Yeah, that's very interesting. They all start to see when we come up collectively with enough ideas and enough stories, no matter how much we're making it up, no matter how creative we're just being or how much creative license we're taking, we're pulling from the truth. So if you pull enough times from the truth, you're going to start to see a pattern. You're going to start to see little breadcrumbs of truth emerging. What's up? Hey, Ireland. Good to see you guys. Zoe says, JayDreamerZ, critters got me as a kid. I still can't look under the bed and the evil below. That one kind of made me scared of the toilet, actually. There have been a couple of scary movies that have made me scared of the toilet. Like when I sit down, I'm just like, I don't know what's down there. It could be something might grab me. Who knows? And then I also had at my grandmother's house in the bathroom, she had this old heater on the wall. And it had these two little knobs or whatever and these little coils that go up and it gets hot. And when it gets hot, those little coils turn red and the knobs look like eyes and the heater's right in front of the toilet. So when I was a kid and it was cold in the house, that thing was turned on and it just looked like this evil face with like burning hot eyebrows or something staring at you. It was creepy. Truthseeker777 says, JayDreamerZ, circumcision is most baby boys' traumatic event. It's scary. It could be done for sinister motives. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, of all the random places that we could have gone, yeah, circumcision doesn't sound fun for some, I suppose. I would not do that to somebody, but, yeah, interesting. Good one. I don't know what to say to that. Hellraiser, also good. Southern Bell Rising says the clown in It was white and said, you'll float too, thinking, you may have mentioned this at some point. Yes, many times. So that's a good point because Pennywise is no exception. I've actually already broken down Stephen King's It, so we probably won't do that one this month. But Pennywise says you'll float too because when the world depressurizes, right, all that weight that escapes in our atmosphere that gets sucked out of the sky is equal to a buoyant force that lifts everything up from underneath. So for a short time, things will suddenly just float into the air. And that's what Pennywise represents. The whole Stephen King's It represents the plasma apocalypse in various ways where they like personify it, basically. Oftentimes they personify many of these events, especially in superhero movies, right? Some of the superhero powers I think are totally real, right? And superheroes go hand in hand with horror, okay? They're on the opposite side. They're the ones that fight these bad guys and stuff like that. It's important because that will be you. Most of you watching this today that survive, you will become like superheroes. You will be imbued with superhero-like powers, right? Various ones. It depends. Some things might be seen as good and a good power to get. Some presents and gifts are not so fun and not so great, but the not so fun ones can be kind of an aspect of horror as well if you don't want those types of gifts, I suppose. Antoine says, the movie Powder is another pale character, but not scary. Yeah, totally. Because those killer clowns from outer space, they're not all killer, right? That just represents a certain faction of them. But many of those beings who come from the heavens above are definitely that same type of Fantazoid white. PJ says, JayDreamerZ, the exorcism of Emily Rose kind of got me, right? Any of the exorcism ones are pretty creepy for me. Any of those ghosts, like real haunting type ones. And oftentimes I'll just watch James LaFleur's channel on YouTube, the Impossible channel. Man, like if I want a good scare at night, I'm watching his channel because he's got, somebody shakily walking through a cave and there's like, you hear something and then all of a sudden like something turns around and people are like, ah, stuff like that tends to scare the crap out of me. Linda says, Jay, try going to an outhouse at night. You'll be fine with an indoor toilet after that. Yes, I've done that many times. It can be pretty creepy, right? The dark is creepy. Just being in the dark. A lot of our fears, I would say most of our fears, right? At the very least, most of them stem from a quintessential root, an origin. They have an origin in us, in our actual collective history, things that have happened here on Earth, in this world that we've gone through and experienced, right? Which include the underworld and the overworld and meso worlds. I don't know. What do you call that? Worlds off to the side. But yeah, we remember these things collectively and then they seep out through our collective subconscious through movies and horror and stuff like that. Yvonne says, Jay, the movie Cell made me scared of losing my mind. That's another good one. And that's okay, let me address that too, because that's actually a pretty good theme throughout horror as people going crazy, people losing their minds, right? I absolutely believe so far that that's going to happen. When the apocalypse comes, people are not ready. People have been conditioned to believe that such things don't happen or they only happen in movies and in books and whatnot. So they're going to probably, many people lose their minds. They might lose it. They might flip a lid. I don't know. I don't see it going well for people who cannot accept, at least the little breadcrumbs of truth that are presented in these quote unquote forms of fiction. Let's see. We got Dan Bears in the chat says zombie movies always freaked me out. Jay, the mindless trying to eat your brain and have you join their ranks. Zombies are, okay, let's talk about zombies real quick. Zombies are real. Okay. Zombies have been real since as far back as I've been studying, right? Going all the way back in history. I've seen many different examples where every culture worldwide has referenced zombies or the dead returning to life or the dead being raised up and resurrected and stuff like that, right? Excuse me. So zombies are already an established fact. If the mainstream does not see them as such, then they're refusing to see what's right in front of their own eyes and reread their own history, right? Even present day history, okay? People come back to life all of the time from the dead. So anyways, zombies are dangerous, but mostly I would tell you this, right? There's going to be different levels of zombification, okay? Because the reinvigoration process takes time. So what do they call it on Doctor Who when he transforms? I forgot what that's called. But anyways, that's what happens to us basically, right? The fountain of youth erupts from the central points in the world. And it reinvigorates the world, and it literally makes everything more reinvigorated or youthful. For many of you, I'm saying basically you'll get younger. It will reverse your aging, which is not really aging as much as it is decrepitness. It's the body falling apart. It's bodily entropy, okay? It slows that down to the point of where you look like you're reversing your age, okay? So that's good news, actually. And that's a part of some aspects in horror and stuff like that, too. And it helps to explain zombies and how the dead can come back to life, right? Those people who have died recently, I believe it stands to reason, would be more like the running zombies and the ones who have a lot of, vigor and power and their body works okay, right? The ones who have just suffered all kinds of broken bones and whatever, or who may have been dead longer, will probably be more traditional, slow-walking zombies, right? And I mean, imagine how you move when you just woke up. You know what I mean? Imagine how people move when they woke up from being dead, right? I can imagine they're pretty tight and they can't move that great. And if their brain's messed up, they probably can't talk or anything, So zombies are definitely coming back. But the danger that zombies pose, aside from just, being plasma possessed and they want to just kill everything, or to have it become plasma possessed as well, is that they are probably one of the best targets, I would say, for the predator type of Fantazoids that we mentioned earlier. Any of those Fantazoids, which are these otherworldly monsters that fill our world every time that the world depressurizes and there's an opening created, otherworldly celestial animals and entities and beings and stuff, they float down into our world. And they also are released from what we call the abyss or the bottomless pit. They come up from out of their world. They come up into our world. They might actually float up into our world as well. The world below us might be depressurizing as well, right? They might have people just float right up into our world. But anyway, zombies will be everywhere, right? The world's full of dead people. And when they're reinvigorated and they start coming back to life, they're food for many of the Fantazoids. If not food, right? They'll have been bitten by something that has some kind of sickness that's not from this world. So now they're a high risk of getting their spit on you or their blood or whatever and infecting you. So that's one reason why you don't want zombies to spit on you and stuff. Not because so much you'll turn into a zombie, but you might, okay? Whatever sickness they have from the inner world or the exo world or whatever, it could mess you up, right? And if your body's reinvigorated to the point where you can't die, that could be a problem. You could turn. You know what I mean? You could turn into something. Another fear, a real fear in that situation would be the Fantazoids going around and infecting the zombies by impregnating them, however they do it. I'm thinking more insectoid-like Fantazoids, but they will impregnate them and use the walking dead or living or whatever to carry their eggs. To hatch inside of them. We have many animals already on our world right now that do this. They lay their eggs inside of a living creature. So, for example, the camel spider, right? When I was in the Middle East, there was all these huge tarantulas called camel spiders. They're real gangly, kind of brown and hairy. And they can jump. What they do is they get underneath a camel, they jump up onto it, they latch onto its belly, and then they tear it open and they lay their eggs inside of it. And then they just leave it, right? And they allow the eggs to feed off of the camel until eventually the camel gets poisoned and dies. And then they just live in the camel using its body, right? It's not too far-fetched that there could be those creatures from other worlds that also would do something in a similar fashion, right? Also, man, I could talk about Fantazoids all day long, but let me jump back into the chat here. Mojo Shop says, Jay, the Terminator, then Terminator 2. Turnaround, yet the same. I like the Terminator movies, and I totally think that, okay, so for example, the Terminator, I could do this with every movie, okay, as long as I've seen it. The Terminator is, the truth in the Terminator is that all that plasma that comes into our world seeks a body. It wants to possess something, okay? It wants to live, basically. And since it's now in a contained system, which is our world, that's what it needs in order to live. Otherwise, it'll just be a wandering spirit, right? It wants to experience the way things are meant to be experienced in this world. So it possesses stuff, right? Now, the Terminator is all about Skynet and how it's artificially intelligent entity that becomes self-aware and it decides to turn on mankind. That's exactly what we have already, right? All of our 5G networks, all of our electricity, all of our robots, all of our mechanics and everything runs off of electricity. And when that electricity goes out after a worldwide EMP, what replaces it is pure spirit form from the heavens, which means it brings things to life, right? So it literally gives free will to our slaves that we have created, to our children that we have made, which are robots, basically. So yeah, lots of truth in that one too. RB says, JayDreamerZ, do their names have meanings that have significance with the apocalypse? Michael, Jason, and Freddy. Yeah. Freddy, it's really interesting because it's almost the exact opposite of what you would think. So for example, Freddy means my peace. It means peaceful, basically. Jason means healer. Then Michael, Mikael, something of God. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but they all mean good things, which is interesting, right? All right, back into the chat. Let's see. Sage has a recommendation. American Werewolf in London. Okay, interesting. I might throw a werewolf one in there. You never know. You never know. 1978, The Manitou. I was in junior high. Interesting. There's a city here where I live called Manitou. Yvonne says, Jay, in a future private underground prison fortress, the inmates are computer controlled with CCTV, dream readers, and devices that can cause pain or death. John and his illegally pregnated wife. Interesting. I'm not sure what to make of that comment. Is that a movie? Yeah, interesting stuff. Alien. Ooh, also a good one too. Actually, I like the prequel to Alien, Prometheus. I thought it was cool. I'm not a huge Alien fan though. To me, it's kind of repetitive, as are all of the Predator movies. I mean, I love them as concepts, but man, they're so repetitive. I also like ones that are sort of not horror, but they border along the lines of horror, like Pitch Black and stuff, right? Hopefully we're good. My computer's been acting up today. I hope everything's okay. If we ever glitch, let me know in the chat. Earlier, my computer shut itself off completely and lost all power, and I have no idea what happened. So hopefully I'll cross my fingers. All right, so let's take some. Ooh, the Langoliers, right? I kind of want them to remake that one just because we have better CGI now. Jurassic Park. Yeah, I was actually scared of Jurassic Park too when I first went and saw it. I was a kid. And it scared the heck out of me. I'm not typically afraid of dinosaurs because to me they seem very goofy looking and cartoonified. Fantazoids filled in the blanks for me personally, right? So when I watch Jurassic Park, I can be afraid once more. You know, I can see past the animatronic, dinosaurs, and I can see the reality of the Fantazoids behind those creatures. Ooh, Tales from the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt. How does he do it? Na 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 na. Hello, kitties. I like that, dude. I liked that one, and I also liked damn, what was that other one that's kind of like Tales from the Crypt? It's like a comic book. Damn, I totally forgot the name of it. Damn. Anyways, they have all these little comic book episodes, and one of them, like, there's like this Indian chief that's a wooden statue, and he comes to life. Another one's this black goo out on the lake, and it's sentient, and it like sucks people's blood or whatever. That one was pretty good. Whatever the name of that one was. Oh, and then the cockroach one. There was one where this rich guy that hated germs and stuff, his whole apartment filled with cockroaches, and basically they ate him. It was insane. I don't like any bugs will always creep me out. Creep Show. Oh, that's what it was called. Wasn't it? Wasn't it called Creep Show? Right? All right. Anyways, Magnet Mountain. Hey, what's up? Says Jay, how about The Trial by Orson Welles novel by Kafka? I've never heard of The Trial. It sounds interesting. Children of the Corn. That's a good one. I see you, John. Fortress. Oh, okay, I see. Rosemary's Baby. That was scary. Okay. I Fly FPV says, Jay, Michael is of Hebrew origin, meaning who is like God or gift from God. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Jay, The Trial, Orson Welles. Got it. I have no idea what that is. Leprechaun. See, even Leprechaun's got truth to it too, right? I'm sure you guys probably some people have been catching my little marathon that I do on the weekends or whatnot, but I actually break down the word leprechaun and talk about what that creature actually represents and what it really is. I'm not sure what that means. 503 problem with server. Are we having problems with the live stream right now? Are we good? It does say an error on my side. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Dang. Yeah, apparently my connection sucks. I don't know. I'm sorry. Pumpkinhead. Oh yeah, Creepshow, Pumpkinhead, The Blob. Oh, I'm totally going to watch The Blob. Pet Cemetery, Child's Play, Tales from the Dark Side. The Thing. Ooh. Pet Cemetery, also good. See, Pet Cemetery is the other side of zombification that people often forget about, I feel. Right? The animals will come back to life too. Right? The animals will be possessed as well as the humans. And there's a lot of animals. Oh, live stream's good. All right, sweet. Hopefully everything works fine. All right, so let me hear some of your what would you guys like to see me break down? That's really what I want to ask. So let's get some movie recommendations of what you feel would be like, man, like this horror movie has so many good breadcrumbs, little nuggets of truth to it. You know what I mean? That's the kind of suggestions I'm looking for. Ooh, The Twilight Zone. Classic. I like all Twilight Zones. I like all of those types of series where each one is weird and strange and about a totally different story, but they're all strange and weird. Like Black Mirror, basically. Or Love, Death, and Robots. I like that kind of stuff too. Blair Witch. Good one. That one creeped me out too, actually. And I watched that when I was in the Marines. In a dark room by myself in the barracks. Like I was pretty creeped out. The X-Files. Yeah, I've seen every episode of the TV show. The movies are good too. The movies are okay. Oh, especially that one where they show the dog, when they show those real experiments, how they had like the dog, just the dog's head, right? And they hooked it up to electrodes and stuff. Oh my God. Like I kind of want to share that with everyone, but I don't know if it's too gruesome. I have done It. We have broken down It. Wizard of Oz is also a good one. It's pretty scary too, depending on how you look at it. Constantine, that's a good one. Not bad. The Gate. Ooh, actually, I have not seen The Gate yet. I've been wanting to see that one for pretty much my whole life, but I just never got around to it. So I might have to check out The Gate. Ooh, The Signal. I like that one too. I like stuff like that. It's not horror also, but it's fringe. You know what I mean? It's out there and weird enough. So it's pretty much scary. It's like a scary movie. Evil Dead. I have also not seen Evil Dead. I know. I need to watch it. I pretty much know what it's about because it comes up. I've seen it. I've seen references to it a million times. And it comes up a lot in my research. I just have not seen it. I have seen Pan's Labyrinth. I was very sad that it was in Spanish because it did not give any indication that it was in Spanish. But I forced myself to read along anyways, and it was a good tale. Let's see, what else we got? What else? Clockwork Orange. I also have not. I sat down to watch Clockwork Orange. I think I'm going to be honest. I think I got bored real quick. I can't remember how it started, but it was hard for me to get into it. I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to give it another try one of these days. I know that's a pretty popular one in esoteric communities. Hey, thanks, Val. Super appreciate you. You always make me laugh. Just from being you. All right. What else we got? Cloverfield. I like all the Cloverfield ones, right? Especially because they make it like they're all connected. They're all totally about the plasma apocalypse. I mean, it's very obvious to people that, know about it. The Stand. Anything by Stephen King is definitely a good one. I love Stephen King. I like his work. The Black Phone. I've not heard of that one. Watch the first Evil Dead movie. That's the only one you need to see, I can imagine, right? They're probably really cheesy after the first one. Evil Dead is a must. Okay, all right. I will check out the Evil Dead then. Cannibal Holocaust. Ooh, man, some of these sound super creepy. And I love it because I think that they're all real. Like, I can be genuinely creeped out watching horror movies and scary movies because I think that they're based on reality. So I don't have the lifeline of, oh, it's just a story. Oh, it's not real. It's not real, right? I don't have, I've unconditioned myself from that line of thought. I know that they're real. I also know and balance that with it's a script. You know, there's actors, and what I'm watching is not actually happening per se, but I balance that with, but it does represent the truth, bro. Yes, it does. And then I have this lovely conversation in my own head. Anyways, Aurum Vorax says Pulse 1988 and a $2 super chat. Thank you. Pulse. I have not heard of Pulse. That sounds, oh, you know what a really good one was that scared me? That just, I don't know why pulsing reminded me of that. Event Horizon scared the crap out of me. Oh my God. So check this out. I went to see Event Horizon at the movies when it first came out, and I'm chilling. I got my foot up, you know, just me and my friends in the theater. So like no one else was there. So I got my foot on the chair in front of me. I'm kicking back, right? Me and my buddies watching Event Horizon. And it was so scary. Like they built it all up. Like this spaceship basically goes into hell or some other dimension, and then it comes back, but it's possessed with all these hellish spaceship ghosts or whatever. That doesn't sound scary the way I said it, but trust me, it's scary. Anyways, there's this part, it was so scary. There's this character, and they're like in this vent, some sort of like air vent somewhere, and it's all creaky, like metallic creakiness, and they're going through it, and like the lights are all flickering on and off, and I'm just like I'm trying to like be cool because my buddies are there, but a tiny little spark went bzz, like that, and I jumped out of the seat and spilled the popcorn in front of everybody. It was funny. That was a great memory. White noise. Ooh, that one's creepy too. Just because you can tune in to those other frequencies and dimensions and stuff, because those are real. 13 Ghosts. That was a legitimate scary one. And I like ones like that with haunted houses. The house always represents our world and what happens during the plasma apocalypse and after in this world. And usually people are trying to escape the house and stuff, right? But it's all very much symbolic of what happens here in our world, in the house that we live in. The First Body Snatchers, okay. Lawnmower Man, classic. I like that one. Was scary-ish when I was a kid. I don't know. It was okay. That one was that one was all right. It was unique. I liked the unique concept. Total Recall, I actually did that one already. Total Recall is a classic too. I don't like, the remake of it. You got to go with the 90s version. People Under the Stairs, good one. That's about the people under our stairs, or in the underworld of our world, because there is an underworld. If it scares Jay, it's scary. Yeah. There's definitely some stuff is pretty scary. Some stuff is corny and cheesy, like Little Shop of Horrors, right? With Rick Moranis. That's totally cheesy, and I'm not scared of it at all. Zero. I think it's hilarious. But it's totally about true stuff, right? I did this really good video. Like it was based on Plants versus Zombies. And in that video, I talk about how not just zombies are monsters, and not just there's these humanoid monsters in the apocalypse, but there's monstrous plants as well. Okay, the plants become huge. They grow to gigantic sizes, and they move about. They're so invigorated with life, right? That they move way faster than they do in the world with these conditions that we have now. You reinvigorate a plant, right? You charge it, give it a lot of energy, it'll move about. And we've got giant flowers and vines and all kinds of stuff, huge plants that will be, something you'll have to watch out for and be careful around. Sphere. Yeah, Sphere kind of reminded me of like an underwater version of Event Horizon, right? Wasn't that the underwater one? I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is, though, with Morpheus. Oh, Cabin in the Woods. Good one. Yes, I might actually break down Cabin in the Woods. There's a good, strong possibility because I really like it. It's got all the horror movie elements to it. That's a strong poss. That's a possible. Poltergeist, got it. Good one, good one. The Sandman Show. I've heard a lot of good things about the Sandman Show. I'm not going to break down a TV show, But probably check out the Sandman one. I have to finish Stranger Things season 4 first. 28 Days. Oh yeah. Sam Neill went from Jurassic Park to Event Horizon. Well, isn't that an interesting tidbit? Sam Neill is just a creepy dude anyway. Like, he has that look. He's got that weird, creepy look. Not in a bad way, not in a weird way, but like, he makes a good scary face. I could say that. Jay, make a poll. Poll on what? Yeah. The Golden Child. That was a scary movie? The Eddie Murphy movie? I don't think that was a scary movie. Maybe I wasn't super scared of it. Cabin Fever. Sounds familiar. I don't remember that one though. What else? These are not super scary. Who's got a scary one? I want somebody to recommend a movie that is so scary. The Ring scared me. You know what's weird? In hindsight, a lot of movies that really scared the crap out of me, like if I watched them now, they're not really that scary. Like The Ring, it's probably because it's been so overdone that it's become really cheesy with that, little black and white action scene that girl does. Not super scary. When I first saw it, holy cow, I did not want the phone to ring. Right? Magnetic Mountain says, Jay, Orson Welles was the greatest director to have ever lived. You have to watch The Trial. I got you. You recommended it 3 times. 3rd time's a charm. Thank you. 1408. Hopi, good one. That's one of my favorite ones, man. I love those ones. And I like John Cusack too in scary stuff. Like Identity. Oh, that was a good one. Some of these I could watch over and over. 1408 is a pretty dang good one. I like that one. That's a mind bender and a horror together. I like those the most. I like it when they screw with my head. I like it whenever I'm questioning reality, basically. When I walk away from a movie, I want to feel like I'm still in the movie, basically. Absentia. I've never heard of that one. Jay, movies and have the subscribers vote. I don't know what that means. You're going to have to speak in complete sentences because I'm not keeping track with prior comments that people have said. Oh, you wanted me to take a poll of movies. And no, I'm not. It's already too complicated, so I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I'm just allowing you guys to shoot out whatever you got. Ultimately, I'm going to pick whatever I want to watch. That's kind of what it boils down to. But quite often you guys recommend things that I want to watch. So that's why we're doing this. Have I seen High Tension? No, I haven't. I haven't even heard of that one. Hellraiser. Good one. I've not seen that. Terrible, right? God, my brother would be pissed right now. My brother has seen every one that I have not, basically. Right? He compliments me because he had his own style. There was a certain like genre of horror that was my brother's. He liked that kind of stuff, right? And sometimes I had my own genre. Mine was more like the sci-fi horror, like mind-bending kind of horror and stuff, like suspense horror or whatnot. I also like creative horror. So like Freddy Krueger was very much right up my alley. Skeleton Key. I heard that one was pretty good too. Jack Nicholson is in The Little Shop of Horrors. I didn't know that. Really? Oh yeah, I think he was, right? I haven't seen that movie in forever. Pumpkinhead has been voted many times. I'm going to have to consider Pumpkinhead. All right, let me catch up here. Everybody's going super fast. Funny Games is pretty messed up. Okay. I have no idea what Funny Games is, but if it's messed up as in it's gory or it's perverted, like I'm going to tell you right now, and this has nothing to do with that comment because I don't know what movie that is, but it reminded me of something, right? I love horror. Me and my brother are both very much like horror fans, scary movie fans, and we have noticed over time how these things have changed, and it bothers me. I don't like it. As a fan of scary movies, I do not watch gruesome movies that are just gore, like Hostel. I mean, I've seen Hostel, but just to use it as an example, to me, that is not a scary movie. That's not a horror movie. It's just disturbing to watch. Or The Hills Have Eyes. I walked out of that movie and I addressed excuse my language, I addressed the crowd. right? Because there was a scene where they put a prop, this kind, to a real baby's head. And I'm like, nah, no, I don't support that. No, screw that. Anyways, like stuff that's too perverse or too gory, and it's just showing, you know what I mean? Like some gore, whatever. It's got to be tasteful for me personally. I don't like how the direction that some scary movies have taken. You know what I mean? To me, I'm kind of classic. I like a good story. I like a good amount of suspense. I like, a few jump scares here and there. I don't like to be shown the bad guy, basically. Like I like glimpses of the bad guy to be shown. You know what I mean? I don't care if they're on part 5. I don't want them to just come out and show you, hey, I'm the bad guy. Here's what I look like. You know what I mean? I like to use my imagination and just kind of see. I like when they show just the blur and I like it when stuff's scary, when it's in the shadows. You know what I mean? That's what makes it scary. Anyways, orcs scare daughters of Lilith. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? Not that they're orcs, they're more trolls or something. But Ernest Scared Stupid, right? That is a stupid movie. That is a cheesy Halloween movie, but it's good because it's got these elements of truth. I mean, I just like Ernest. Ernest Goes to Camp. I like all this stuff. But in Ernest Scared Stupid, that was one of my first truth in movie moments, because the trolls or whatever Ernest was fighting, they were done in. They were scared of milk. Like milk was the main thing that they did not like, right? It was like water to a witch or a wicked witch or whatever, right? And I'm like, what a strange thing. You know what I mean? You had all this buildup as to how scary these things are, and then it turns out that it's just milk. Like the trolls that kill people and murder them and stuff are just, they don't like milk, and that's all you need to scare them away, right? So that's a good example of like little baby JayDreamerZ watching stuff when I was a kid and going, that's weird. Why? What was that about? You know what I mean? And I never really went into detail when I was a kid. All right, back into the chat. Final Destination. Ooh, or Death. That's a good one too. Death plays a prominent part of our world today, right? Everybody's okay with dying. I'm not. I don't see how that's acceptable. No. Everyone's okay with 75 years. I'm not. I don't see how that's acceptable. I don't see how that is even enough time. Okay? I know everybody out there is going a million miles an hour, and everybody's watches TV, and we're all okay with it, and we've got little cemeteries to bury everyone and stuff. And to me, it's a foreign concept. To me, it sounds strange. To me, I don't think that it sounds fair. It doesn't sound right. It does not sound like enough time to live a life, a full and complete life, the way that I intend to, at least. So death is a good one because we have that monster right now. That monster is going to disappear. That's one of the monsters that will actually go away when the plasma apocalypse comes, is death, which is pretty exciting. What's up, Stacy Lee? Stacy Lee, good to see you. The Void. I've heard of The Void, have not seen that one yet. Train to Busan, heard of that one. Under the Skin. Resident Evil, good one. Where was I? Damn, I missed a lot. I'm sorry. Resident Evil, boom. Jay, if you watch The Trial, okay, I'm not going to watch it. Dude. All right, hold on. Let me be respectful. Hold on. If you watch The Trial, you can tell me what the etymology of ovular is. Okay, if I watch The Trial, I will remember that, I'm sure. The Hills Have Eyes? No, that one's terrible. I hated that one. That's not even scary. It's just perverse and disgusting. Cactus J2K says, Jay, absentia is about missing people. They vanish in a tunnel mysteriously. Really thought-provoking. Okay, that sounds interesting too. Psycho thrillers, like it. Jason Enemy's coming out. All right, let's not do that. What else we got? Candyman. Ooh, good one. That's classic. I haven't seen the new Candyman yet. I've seen all the other ones. Candyman has actually got a lot of truth in it too. Happy Birthday to Me. That sounds familiar, actually. I don't know if I've seen that one. Skeleton Key, got it. Black Triangle, As Above, So Below. The Descent. The Haunted. Let's see. Apocalypto. I wasn't super scared of Apocalypto, actually. That Mel Gibson one, I didn't find it to be super scary, really. Oh yeah, Clockwork Orange. They also used the milk reference. Yeah, stuff like that started getting into my head, right? I'm like, why are they showing milk with bad guys so much? Oh, The Endless. I have seen that one. Hey Zoe, thank you. The Endless didn't really scare me personally. I didn't think that was very scary at all. But it was cool. It was interesting. I like time loop movies or whatever. That one was all right. The Descent, The Mist, classic. I have done The Mist already. I do like that one though. Gothica, that one was okay. I wasn't super scared of Gothica. Sorry, I'm catching up. Dang. Sharon says she can't watch paranormal. That's funny. Jean Lombardo says, me too, Jay. Oh my God, I've stopped watching those movies too. I used to be in that type, but really messes with your brain. Yeah, I don't watch all that craziness, man. I'm talking about movies with a story. R&B says, JayDreamerZ, Black Triangle, Under the Skin, Society, Conspiracy, all good. Oh, I like that conspiracy one. Don Juan says, JayDreamerZ, I know what you mean, Jay. I was just as shocked as Sam could do such a film. A sad horror film to watch is The Crow. Oh, I know, right? Dang. Fire in the Sky. Ooh, okay, that one did scare me. That one scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. So much. If you don't know what Fire in the Sky is, it's about the aliens that suck this dude up in a tractor beam or whatever. Lots of truth, right? Lots of truth going on there. But I will tell you, that's when I was highly into the X-Files and stuff like that. Hey, John Lombardo, thank you. I watched all the X-Files and stuff, and I just watched Fire in the Sky, and the dude just got sucked up, and he got put onto this table by these aliens and stuff, and then they made his eye all wide, and this needle thing was coming down to his eye. And then that's the moment when my mom, when I was a kid in high school, was like, Jason, go check the mail. And it's 6 o'clock at night or 7, it's getting dark, you know what I mean? I did not want to get sucked up by a tractor beam. That's the short story to that. I was scared. I held on to trees on the way to check the mail. I held on to my mom's car. I was making sure that if aliens sucked me up, I would bring something heavy with me, basically. Yeah, with a death grip. I did not like Fire in the Sky very much. That one scared me. Alien ones pretty much scared me. If it was about aliens that kidnap people, I didn't like that. Legend, that was a good one. I wasn't scared of it, but it was a good movie. Silent Hill, that was pretty creepy. Silent Hill has a lot of plasma apocalypse symbolism. Bone Tomahawk, okay, interesting. Oculus, Alien again. We got Alien, Pet Sematary. Rawhead Rex was a fun Irish horror film. Interesting. Q the Winged Serpent with the Kung Fury Master. Okay, I never heard of that one. Excuse me. Slender Man. I don't feel like I would be afraid of that one, but I have not seen it. Let's see. Tales from the Hood. I haven't seen Tales from the Hood either. And I did grow up in the hood. Magna Mountain says, sorry guys, 2001 Clockwork Orange. You just can't get close to that anymore. The closest I think anyone has ever got was Pulp Fiction, and let's face it, that didn't age well. Sweet. Clockwork Orange, definitely been mentioned a couple times. The Funhouse. Ooh. That actually does sound creepy. The Descent. Oh yeah, Trolls Are Afraid of Miak. Right? That was from Ernest Scared Stupid. Because he wasn't sure what the third letter was. Anyways, it was very corny, but there's a lot of truth there. Not a scary movie. I wasn't scared of it at all. The Thing. Ooh, yeah, The Thing is super creepy because that's whenever the Fantazoids impregnate you with their stings or whatever, or you get the T virus or something. Yeah. Prince of Darkness, good one. The Triangle was messed up, but a mind bender. Okay, I might check that out. Kin Crypt says, what's the name of the movie that when people go to sleep at night, people come into their house and inject them with something, and then they wake up with a different life? Oh, that was Dark City, actually. And I have broken down Dark City on my playlist, too. My Truth in Movies playlist. That's a good one. It's classic. Q, the winged serpent. Got it. Got it. I'll look into that one. Stephanie McGuire says, little baby JayDreamerZ. Yes. JayDreamerZ, Black Devil Doll from Hell, 1984. A woman buys a doll at a shop. The doll is possessed by an evil spirit and it proceeds to take over, kind of like Chucky. Ooh, okay. I'm not afraid of Chucky whatsoever. I will boot Chucky. I will boot him so far. Nah, he's not hurting me whatsoever. Like, but the dolls are creepy. I will definitely concede to that. Man, what was that one? There was one doll one. Puppet Master. That was a good. I like that kind of doll horror, I guess you could call it. But they're just creepy to look at. Stranger Things 4, good idea, good idea. I'm trying to catch up in the chat. I'm looking for my name is highlighted, basically. The Triangle, The Fourth Kind, both a bit psychological thrillers. Okay, I'll probably look into The Triangle. Oh, Weird Science, that was a good one. Not scary, but definitely all plasma apocalypse. Abigail says, JayDreamerZ, High Tension is a slasher film. It follows two female students who arrive at a secluded farmhouse to study, and they're interrupted by a serial killer. But honestly, it's so much more. Okay, I take your word for it. It doesn't sound scary. I'm going to be honest, though. It doesn't sound super scary. It sounds kind of like Scream. And Scream, see, that's the other thing, too. I'm going to do a whole segment on like different kinds of monsters and stuff. Humans are going to be probably #1 on my list for monsters or whatever. Blade Trinity. The Blade movies were okay for me. I kind of get the gist of it. I got the point after the first one. They were a little too cheesy for me for vampires. I like my scary movies to remain mostly scary. I don't like a lot of humor in my scary movies, unless it's just a humorous movie, like Zombieland. You know what I mean? Like, clearly you're watching that to laugh, not to be scared or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people are. Sharon would like to meet Travis. So Travis, if you're watching, Sharon would like to meet up. Hellraiser, Jeepers Creepers. Man, I can't believe so many people thought Jeepers Creepers was so scary. I mean, it was scary-ish. It was scary. It's all right. I give it a 7.5 on the scary scale. John Lombardo says, Jay, you have to break down As Above, So Below. That one is for me, and I'm done suggesting. Okay, I got you. As Above, So Below. I've seen it come up like on Netflix or Amazon or whatever quite a few times, and it's got, something I've thought about watching, so I might consider that one too. The Fourth Kind, interesting. Who does the Terminator represent in the apocalypse? He represents all of our machinery that we have created that will be imbued with spirit from above, that will have its own choice in the matter. Actually, at first it won't really have its own choice. It'll be psychotic killers, whatever it turns into, basically. But once it's cut off from its source, then it has freedom of choice. Fifth Kind and the Vatican tapes. Interesting. Okay, I never heard of those ones. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. That's fun. Oh, okay. So I got 2 votes for As Above, So Below. I might have to check that out. People Under the Stairs. Good, good. The Shining. Excellent. Skeleton Key. Man, I cannot keep up in the chat today. Dead Silence was fire. Okay. The Haunting of Hill House. I did like that one, actually. That one was pretty scary. I think that was a TV show, though, wasn't it? I don't think that was a movie. It might have been. I could be wrong. But I do remember being scared of that one a little bit. That one, I give that one like an 8.3. That one was all right. There's some stuff that's scarier. Drag Me to Hell sounds scary. I don't know. Might be. Oh, Val says, I'm giving it 2 extra points just because Val says that it's good too. Village of the Damned? Jeepers Creepers sucks, right? I know. It had potential. It had so much potential to be like a solid classic horror movie. And then at the end, man, It's insane. Species. Ooh. Species creeped me out. Parts of it did. I'm talking to 245 people. Awesome. Sweet. Hello to all 245 people. Hey, I hope you enjoy the intro that we had today. I made a little scary Halloween intro. I also did that with the credits too. If you're just joining us, basically, we started off making the point that all scary movies are actually based on reality. All movies are based on reality. I would not limit that to horror, right? But it's Halloween month. So I'm going to talk about horror. I'm going to talk about scary stuff. You know what? It is good for me to do that because I don't get to. I talk about scary ass stuff, okay? But I make it fun so that it's not so scary. And I do that so that it'll be more attractive because I care about many of you out there who are destined to survive. And I want to help out your heart and your mind and your energy as you face some of the creepiest, scariest stuff that might go down ever, right? It's less scary when you understand it. It's less scary when you know how it works. It's way less scary when you expect it, right? So that's the reason that I get to do this. And if I do it normally outside of Halloween, people might accuse me of like preaching doom and gloom, you know, talking about doomsday all the time. But this time I have the excuse of saying it is scary AF, okay? There's just the noise from the world depressurizing suddenly and violently will shake the air enough that you will feel like there is a real giant that just stepped next to your house. The windows blow out. It'll be loud. And just that alone is going to kill people. Like they will have a heart attack just from that noise from the world blowing its top. And that's just the beginning. Jaws, also an obvious classic. Jaws was good. So Jaws was good. It had good suspense. The way they did that, you know, I mean, it's just a shark. Like I shouldn't really be that scared of Jaws because it's just a shark in the water or whatever. But the way they did it, they put you in the water with Jaws, and I like that. That's good storytelling. Cabin Fever and Faculty. The Faculty, not bad. I like it whenever they have those people pods or pod people or whatever they're called. Cabin Fever and Faculty. Babadook, The Wailing, The Hallow, Hereditary, The Visit, The Omen. Yeah, a lot of good ones start with the. All right, let's see. I'm catching up in the chat. Sorry. There's a lot of people. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know what? I think I was forced to watch that in high school, so I think I purposefully tuned out. I don't even remember what that's about. Suso! Hey, thanks, Suso. Good to see you. Dan Juan says, The Sixth Day, Arnold returns home to find a replica of himself. Actually, I remember that one. I like The Sixth Day. And The Witches. Oh my God, is The Witches the one, the children's one, where the witches turn the kids into mice? That one terrified me when I was a kid. I vividly remember that movie and the book scaring me. The movie more, right? Because it was, they did a good job of that. There's a lot of good breadcrumbs in that one too. Field of Dreams, I wasn't super scared of that one, but it's a good movie nonetheless, and lots of good breadcrumbs. And also Mandela affected, they say. Legion and In the Mouth of Madness. Ooh, interesting. The Left Behind series? No, I'm not saying that's super scary. I guess it could be, especially if you're not a Christian. Like, yeah, I guess that would super scare people. But that actually has a lot of good breadcrumbs too. So like the depressurization, people getting sucked up into the sky or disappearing and stuff, right? Similar themes. Blair Witch, Leviathan, Hellraiser. Okay. Puppet Master. That was a good one. That was one of my favorite ones. I liked Blade. There's a dude named Blade. He had a little hook and a little blade. Puppet Master was pretty cool for me. I actually wanted a little statue of those puppets when I was younger. Phantasm, nice. Moonbot, scary but has crumbs in it. Or not scary. Moon is not scary. Okay, Moon, sounds interesting. I Am Legend, that one was cool. There was like one jump scare that scared me. Basically, the rest of it was interesting to see how somebody would live after post-apocalyptic when they're on their own, right? Quite oftentimes, people are portrayed as having teamed up because that's a good idea if you can survive the apocalypse with a loved one, right? Especially when the plasma actually comes down. I believe that it's a method of safety is to hug and to interact and touch, because I believe that it helps to create a circuit to ward off harmful entities or whatever. But yeah, some people will survive all by themselves. So that gives rise to the truth behind the perspective you're seeing when you watch things like I Am Legend or the Book of Eli, also another good one, right? So some people are loners. Some people will survive, and you'll be by yourself, and you'll have to make friends in the post-apocalyptic world. Excuse me. What did I think of Saturn III? I have no idea what that is. I haven't seen it. Poltergeist. Yeah, poltergeists are creepy. The Others. Okay, interesting. A Sixth Sense kind of movie. Sixth Sense was good. Like, I mean, the cat's out of the bag now, so it's hard to replicate the Sixth Sense, you know what I mean? But man, that was a good one. I liked it. I love how they took all that scary stuff, and all you needed was a little knowledge, and boom, all of a sudden, it's not scary anymore. It makes sense. That's a really, really good example of why it's good initially to be afraid, because it prompts us to know more, right? If you watch The Sixth Sense, but you just are so scared and you stop it and you don't figure out that the kid sees dead people, that he's looking at ghosts and stuff, and that his doctor, right, is a ghost the whole time, and that there's good ghosts and stuff. And that these ghosts had their own little problems. It makes sense. It gives information. It shines light in these dark places and these inner recesses of our mind that cause fear, right? We shine the light on that, which is information and knowledge and experience. You become bold in the face of adversity, right? You stand up to giants and to Fantazoids and to your governments and to people who oppress you and to monsters and whatever it may be, right? Because you're equipped. That's why we talk about these types of things, to equip ourselves. Do I believe in entities? I believe in everything. So yes, definitely. Infinite Loops Lawson says, Jay, Event Horizon was decent. It was okay, right? It was all right. The ending, it got a little weak towards the end. All right, I don't want to critique it too much, but it was unique. I liked that, and it scared the crap out of me. I liked that too, especially a little spark. There was this one spark, just the perfect time spark. Oh, the Amityville with Ryan Reynolds. That was actually a great remake. I'm going to give that one like an 8.9. That was scary. That's scary because, okay, if you want a good example, there's many good movies out there that show what it's like when people become plasma possessed. When their spirit energy is overly amplified, if they have a skeleton in their closet, if they have some lingering evil or darkness, it will come to light, right? There will come a time in this world where there is a tipping point as far as if we choose to be good or choose to be bad. If we choose to have good vibrations and resonate with a frequency that promotes growth and giving and loving and happiness and peace, that'll be amplified. If it doesn't, the opposite will happen. And so this movie with Ryan Reynolds, he does a great job acting. God, this is my favorite acting role that he's ever done. Not all that cheesy, funny stuff, right? I mean, he's okay at that. But this one was good acting, right? He went from like a regular guy, the dad of the family, the boyfriend or whatever, but he started getting possessed. His mind started changing. You could see it, man. He was going through it in that movie. And when it locks on, it tries to grab a hold of a person. He had to get away from the area, which was the house, that had that influx of energy so that his energy could calm down, basically. Anyways, that was a good one. White Noise, good to see you. Love you too. Looking says sliding in, voom voom. Hello, beautiful souls. Hello, everybody. What about Don't Say a Word? It sounds familiar. I don't know if I've seen that one. Phantasm has been recommended a couple of times. I'm taking note of that too. Venom, really? You thought, I don't know. I mean, I have not even seen Venom. I'm not going to knock it. It is a Marvel movie, so I'm not immediately terrified or anything. Or DC or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Yin Capel says Skeleton and Fallen with Denzel Washington. Oh, Fallen, yeah. I don't know the Skeleton one. Fallen was pretty good. It was kind of suspensey, right? All right, man, we got a lot. JayDreamerZ, The Grudge, mostly because of that sound that it makes. Yeah, Friday the 13th. The fact that dreams are real. What happens in your dreams actually happens sometimes. That's true for me. I could definitely share that. I have had quite a few dreams where I stopped breathing or I was choking on something, and then I really stopped breathing, and that's what woke me up. Is I had like no air, and I had to gasp and grab onto something or whatever. Yeah, those can be scary when your dreams reflect reality, and they come over into our world, right? The Ring, yes, Constantine. All right, cool. I feel like we're good. I feel like we've gone over a lot of different movies, so I'm gonna recap for us, okay? And not only that, but there's a lot of repetitious ones that are coming into the chat now, and I get the point. Thank you so much for all of your movie recommendations. We're going to be doing a lot of truth in movies, all horror this month. This is Halloween month. I will be doing a special Halloween breakdown, not so much for entertainment, but if you'd like, by all means, be entertained. But we're going to break down what Halloween is. I would like, by the end of this month, I would like all of you, and I invite all of you to come tune in, to hang out with me in the Good Vibe Tribe, and to find out more about what Halloween really is. There is the official story. There is what it says on the news. There is handing out candy to little kids at strange people's houses, and everyone's dressed up in costume. And grown-ups going to alcoholic parties and stuff wearing scantily clad costumes, right? That's the surface level of Halloween. Go buy stuff, basically. Then we have the sub-level, like, oh, it actually means something. Oh, well, we celebrate, it's probably related to Dios de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, etc. And it's actually like related to some Christian stuff, but then there's a deeper level, and then there's another deeper level. So I'm going to take you down those levels of where Halloween came from. What does the word Halloween mean? Why do we have this fascination with ghouls and monsters and creepies and crawlies and entities and giants and all kinds of things entering into this world during certain points in time, and us not trying to be noticed, and we dress up like monsters and stuff, or we hand out candy and we leave food for visitors, etc., right? So we're going to break down the origins, the esoteric origins of Halloween. As a Halloween special at the end of this month, we're going to do horror movies all month long in Truth in Movies. I might even try to do more than one in a week. We'll find out. There's a lot of good ones. And I'm going to be talking more about monsters and scary stuff. The next video I'm going to do is probably going to be about your face melting off. I did say that. I definitely did say that. So, very real possibility. And if somebody reminds me, I might talk about spontaneous combustion as well, because that creeped me out when I was a kid. Getting sucked up by aliens was a fear of mine, but spontaneously combusting was also right back there all the time as a constant, like, man, I hope I don't spontaneously combust. But anyways, it should be a fun month. I'm gonna let it all go for tonight. I'm gonna run the credits. Check out the credits, special Halloween themed credits. And it's a good music too. And it's a good time to rock out and just flood the chat with positive emojis. Not for me. Do it for all these people. All these people in the credits. Man, every month they're donating to me, basically, so that I can take care of my kid and make YouTube videos and be an author and a website owner and all the things that I do that I've always wanted to do for all of you. So thank you. And thank all these people too. All right. More scary stuff to come. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Only you in this vast multiverse.
Your powers divine.